Good news, guys. The insulation has arrived. Got the insulation finally, guys. Finally. This thing is fine here until I finish my landscaping project. By this time that video is already out. I wish I was there with you guys right now, seeing this complete. Oh well, back to work. Then I will be there. This is the big one. Literally the big one. Insulating the entire bottom floor. And also finishing it with some siding boards. So finishing this wall, the entirety of the front wall, this section as well, and the entirety of the back wall. So mostly the outside of the cabin will be completely finished by the end of this video. I mean, except the decking area. Still need to finish this section here, but I'm not gonna do it in this video. That would be too much work and too much content for just one video. I always disclose how much I spend on construction crap. So for this entire pile I paid $1,600. This is all the insulation I need for the main walls and including the roof. Also have a bunch of these wind barrier boards here as well. So $1,600, I would say, yeah, about right. I wouldn't really know how much this stuff costs abroad, but here it's that much. Sadly, this thing kinda arrived on a really sketchy day. I was working on the boulder wall there when I got the call. So the tractor trailer thing was unable to drive here and I had to go to the road to pick it up. So let's just kind of get to work here. I mean, I have an absolute ton of work to do to get this finished. And I'm gonna start off with the lower part of the build. So this area here, I need to make sure that no gold has any breaches to get in between these areas. You know, I've been like thinking here for the past 15 minutes or so. There are no good options. I mean, there is one thing that I can do, but it's gonna be absolutely nightmare to do. I could take a piece of insulation material, cut these grooves into it, so that I can nicely fit it here. Oh boy. Even thinking about it gives me a headache. I just need to make sure that I seal from here. I'm pretty sure adding foam here will achieve absolutely nothing. Because under here I wanna leave an air gap so that air can move nicely through this area. Definitely don't want any sawdust here. Need to make sure there's air gaps between each piece of lumber. This area is the area that needs to be sealed properly. This and that. Everything extra from here is pretty pointless. This works better. I have a feeling this is gonna be one hell of a warm building. Well, that takes care of this side. To be honest, it went pretty smoothly. Other than the deck being filled with crap again, everything is okay. Oh man, now it's so hot. I guess the heat wave from Germany, France and UK finally made it eastwards. And now apparently it's here. Don't forget to drink water, guys. Holy moly, what a mess. Whatever, let's ignore that for now. Next up would be this area. And then this area. I need to install the foundation board, this thing, here as well. I have no idea how did I forget about this. I don't know, maybe I'm high when making these videos. Well, at least I managed to score one of these boards from the same guy. Apparently he has tons of them, but hauling these from Finland to Estonia seems kinda pricey, so... But you guys have already seen me how I install this thing, so there's really no point for me to show that to you now. So let's just skip that part. At least this way I can recycle this stuff. Check it out, guys, I have some company here. Absolutely packed in here. I think this was a really great idea. Phase 1 of this episode. Check! I'm on my second day already, guys. For you it's probably been like 2 minutes though. So whatever, it's fine. The gap between the log wall and the foundation is nicely sealed now around the entire building. Phase 2 would be to do some framing for the main insulation material. Sounds like fun, but I'm gonna pick this up in a couple of days or so. Oh yeah, this will do just fine now. Can nicely continue the work now. So before I can start doing any framing, I need to get rid of a couple of things that will kinda get in my way while doing the framing. So the first thing that I noticed that I don't need is the first 2x2 layering here. Thanks to the extra roof portion, this thing is completely useless now. Huh. Crap. Desperate times require desperate measures. You know, a shotgun would be really helpful about now to get this damn screw out of here. Literally the last screw, and the thing stops working. This is one of the ways I get my lumber as well, by disassembling crap that people don't need anymore. Also, a bunch of screws is a bonus. This amount of screws was in the first layer alone, so multiply this by about 120, and that's about what's on this roof. What else? What else? So these two layers of decking will get in my way. I need to remove these as well. And if you're wondering, why did I even add those if I'm gonna remove them anyway? Well, the answer to that is actually pretty simple. Because when I posted the balcony video, I did not want to answer comments like these. So now you know. So I can only see one more roadblock before I can start doing the framing. And that would be the log ends. This one, that one, this is fine, and this. So I actually need to install the wind barrier board under here, because there, that brown stuff is the wind barrier and it ends on this point, but I need to extend it out to about this much. Basically this is the same deal as the foundation gap was. The gap between the foundation and wall needed to insulate that nicely, and this spot is pretty much the same deal, only I need to wind gap it nicely. But these log ends are kinda in the way. I don't really wanna cut them off fully. I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of screws and nails there, so that's gonna be impossible to do. If I just cut off a little bit here, I think that would work. So yeah. Man, ever since I built this swing over here, I can never work in peace anymore. There's somebody always here. Nice. Check how this thing landed. Right on the money. Never to be seen again. Oh. Don't even care. Well, that sorts out the wind barrier in this tight location. I still need to tape these caps shut, and for that I'm gonna use this special tape. In theory you can use any tape you want, but you have to keep one thing in mind. Will that cheap $2 duct tape hold for at least 30 years? Or will it let go before that? A roll of this tape is about 10 times more expensive than a roll of duct tape, but then again this thing is meant to last. It's also very easy to use. It has this paper under here, so you can get the exact measurement you need. It breaks very easily, and then you just remove the paper. I'm sure a lot of you guys have come across this tape before. Oh yeah, this will do just fine. Next agenda is this cap here. I have to make sure that this cap is also airtight. So I'm gonna add construction foam down here. But before I do that, I'm gonna add the same tape on the top. Because when doing insulation, one thing is very important. You have to add wind barrier to that insulation. If the cold wind can touch the insulation material from the outside, it will render that insulation material, whatever that might be, for you pretty useless. So you need some type of wind barrier material for your insulation material. That wind barrier can be a lot of things. It can either be this special wind board or the special undercoating. I think in the States you guys have something called like Tyco home wrap, so that thing is basically the same thing as this stuff. Or you can use this tape also as a wind barrier. Anything that stops the wind will work. Okay, nicely sealed now, all the gaps. That should do the trick nicely. Anyway, next up, the framing for the insulation material. Gonna be a hard one. You know, if this wall was nice and flat, it would be so easy to install that framing. But because the wall goes like this, that's gonna complicate things for me. It's not really complicated, but more like really annoying. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set the first board in place, then I'm gonna set the second piece, run a couple of strings in between the two, and then install the rest. And I have to repeat that process for every flat surface there is. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I have a feeling this is gonna be a really boring episode. Because I'm excessively bored by now. Super boring. There's always something. There's always something. Mis ma teen või? Jaa. Ma ei tea. Pidu või? Pidu jah, pidu teeme jah. We got a guest, guys. What a pussy. Unless you want this video to be like 3 weeks long, then I suppose it's probably a good idea to time-lapse this part. Plus, I think nobody needs to go through what I'm about to go through here in slow motion. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be boring, even in time-lapse mode. But let's do this. You know, I'm on day 3 right now. If I were to paint a picture about this part of the build, it would be a picture of age. Well, at least I have water, so I got that going for me. Let's just carry on here. The only path forward would be the path forward. So let's just carry on here. The nightmare has finally ended. Well, almost. 4.5 days of nightmare fuel. I mean, this side was not that bad, because I decided to leave the boards a bit more out. I do have these massive gaps here now, but I'm just gonna add some more insulation to fill those gaps, so it's not really a big deal. I started off by cutting the grooves into the logs, but pretty much realized that's not the way to go. And then I just started cutting the grooves into the boards. On this wall I did have some kind of problems. So as you can see, this wall is not straight. It's kind of going that way. But obviously the finished wall will be not going that way. It kind of has to be straight. So on the bottom here I really have almost no board left. And on the top, massive gaps. So getting this wall straight was annoying. Seriously annoying, but doable. On this wall though, I kinda entered some moron mode or something. So my moron mode told me to go a bit deeper. Honestly, I thought it's gonna be a bit easier. Boy, was I wrong though. I mean, it started off pretty nicely, I only had to make like a couple of cuts. But as I went closer to that end, it kind of went full circle on me. Because I had to do so many cutouts for the boards. Each log required a cutout. So yeah, this wall, absolute nightmare fuel right here. Okay, I should probably stop pitching now. At least this part's done now. I can pick up from here. So next up would be to install the insulation material. But before I do that, I need to do a couple of things. So the couple of things that I need to do before the insulation can start. I need to take a couple of these wires outside. The reason for that is because maybe I'm gonna change my mind here again. So I was thinking I could possibly leave that wall and that wall out as well. And only cover up this section, including this bit here. So I'm not really sure I'm gonna go down that route. I will decide that in the next episode, but I'm gonna leave the option open for me, and for that I need to take these wires outside. Also, I'm gonna need to remove this one, but before I remove it I need to add it to the other side. These cracks are just so handy. Yeah. Okay, so I need to add some kind of timbering here. So this wall and that wall are completely different walls. And when I built the log cabin, I added a 2x6, I think, in here. So that kind of joins these walls together. You can even see the 2x6 here. But I want to make sure that this thing does not move. So I'm gonna add something on top of here as well. You know, I don't really have any more 2x8 remaining. Wait a minute. I think I have some 100-year-old lumber. Yeah, there we go. You You know, a buddy of mine who works in a log cabin building company once told me that they go through a chainsaw per 2 years. And the main reason for that is because once they start off the chainsaw, they immediately get to work. So he recommended me to always warm up the chainsaw before you actually start cutting with the thing. And I've had this boy for too many years now, and the engine is working wonderfully. Bunch of sawdust in the face. That's the best morning breakfast you can have. Doesn't taste so well though. This thing is really heavy. I need to get myself a lighter chainsaw. Like 36cc would be totally fine. I mean, I did get that Makita electric saw, this thing here, but to be honest, I don't really use this anymore. Mostly because the chain is just so puny. If I hit some nails or screws with this chain, then the chain will, I don't know, cease to exist. For example, where did it go? Utterly useless thing. Really wish I could return it and exchange it for something more useful. This thing does have two advantages though. Firstly, you don't need to wear any ear protection, and secondly, you can use this indoors. But other than that, I would never probably use this anywhere. Holy crap, this thing is super tight here. Kind of fits on this spot very nicely though. The 100-year-old lumber goes nicely hand in hand with the rest of the wall. Kind of sad that it's gonna be all covered up though. So like I said, the purpose of this thing is to tie these two walls together so that maybe in the next episode I can remove this piece here. If I finally decide to leave this area out as well. Obviously this 2x8 here is kind of ugly and I need to replace it with something more nicer. As of now, I am ready to start insulating this building. Oh boy. This part will be boring. Considering it's kind of 35 degrees right now, I'm gonna start off from this spot. At least it's nice and chill on this spot. Check. Ventilated work area. Check. Waste should be disposed of according to local regulations. Clean area using vacuum equipment. Clean this with a vacuum. Are you high? Not. Check. Rinse in cold water before washing. What is that supposed to mean? Cover exposed skin. Cover myself in this weather? No, thank you. You know what? I feel warmer already. Maybe that's why Europe is experiencing a heat wave right now. Because all of this insulation here. So you want to make sure that whenever installing mineral insulation, you leave it in a fluffy state. You don't really want to compress mineral wool too much. If you compress this thing down, the efficiency will drop. So this cable goes to the root cellar over there. I'm gonna change this cable out. It's a bit short and it doesn't need to be so manly. Just for a couple of sockets. This cable is a 3-phase cable, so you can run 400 volts through here. Okay, well, this wall is finished. It went pretty smoothly. Let's just plow on here. Okay. So a layer of insulation has been fully installed now. I also took some time to paint all the cabling, just that I know where the cables are under the insulation material. This is more like a safety thing to make sure that I don't drive any nails or screws very close to that line of color. And I added these plastic nail things or plastic washers just to ensure that the mineral wool would not sag down in time. So next obvious choice here would be the wind barrier, right? No. Next part is more insulation. Yeah, you heard me correctly. There will be another layer of insulation on top of this one. It will be crisscrossed in a horizontal plane. The reason for that is to ensure that all the gaps are nicely covered. But before I can install it, I need to do more framing. I don't like framing, but I guess it's gonna be a lot easier than the first framing was. To be honest, from here on out, I think it's gonna be pretty smooth sailing. Like I said, smooth sailing.
Minä ei ala yhtään. Otan kisat. Sit mä panen tämän niinku kilää kiinni.
You know what, guys? This part here is going super smooth. It would be great if all the work on this cabin went as smoothly as this part is going right now. Anyway, let's just carry on here. Next up, the second layer of insulation material. You know what, guys? This seems pretty straightforward. Let's just skip this part. Yeah. Fantastic news, guys. After 3 weeks of drought and no rain, we finally have some rain here. Oh yeah, this feels so good. Last night I checked the weather forecast and it said it's probably gonna rain today. So just in case, I added this tarp here to make sure that the lower part of the insulation material does not get wet. But the good thing is that I have overlaps everywhere, so while it's raining I could still continue the work under the roof areas. You know, the main building has 4 walls, so 3 out of 4 walls have an overlap, are completely covered by a decking roof or completely covered by addition roof. So this keeps the elements like rain, sun and wind somewhat away from the main walls. And overall I think that's a really positive thing. So apparently this thing is called Nordic fiberboard. I'm not really sure how popular it is around the world, but in Nordic countries plus in Europe they actually use this stuff quite a lot. Personally, I think having fiberboard as wind barrier is somewhat better, because fiberboard also acts as an insulation material. So in theory, in the end, I will have like 3 layers of insulation material on here. Hopefully I will get a great time lapse out of this part. guess that's about it. Don't worry guys, I'm gonna resume the plow on mode in a moment. But first I'm gonna explain a couple of things. So first thing, these siding boards. These are actually pretty good. You know, these have these end joints as well. So you can pretty much just continue this on forever. Also, as you saw when I was laying these boards, there is very minimal offcuts. So the entire siding for the building is now finished. And this is the pile of offcuts remaining. And the joints in walls look pretty seamless. So yeah, these siding boards are pretty good. Another thing, maybe you're wondering, why did I use screws to anchor these siding boards in place? Basically I used these screws. This is like a decking board screw, so it will not rust and stay in the wood. So that's number one. But far more important reason why I decided to go with screws is that the screws actually are able to hold the siding boards in place. If your wall gets a lot of sunlight, the tiny finish nails are actually incapable of holding the siding board nicely in place. So with time those nails will just let go and the siding will start to warp. So these decking screws should actually hold the siding boards in place pretty well. Which would you rather have holding your outside siding in place? A longer version of this or this thing? I would definitely go with this one any day. A lot more expensive, sure, but totally worth it. Plus, if I needed to remove some of these boards for whatever reason in the future, it's really easy to do so. I wouldn't need a crowbar or anything. And one downside is that these holes are gonna show, but actually, so on this wall you can easily see these holes, right? But I used the same screws on this siding as well. I cannot see any holes anymore. Somehow with time the holes kind of seal themselves. I mean, like this, completely the hole has sealed itself and I can't really see any of them. Also, the final finish for the building will be roughly the same color than this screw, so I guess that will also help to camouflage these screw holes. I guess we'll see in the end of this video. So yeah, I guess that's about it. Let's just continue the work here now. So we need to do the corners now, also the door framing and the window framing. And after doing the corners and framing, I'm gonna also do the oiling or staining, finishing, whatever you wanna call that thing. For the finish I decided to go with dark tar oil. Dark tar oil. So it's pretty much linseed oil mixed with some pine tar and some other stuff that I'm unable to pronounce. It smells great, it leaves a very nice finish, it protects the wood nicely by producing a layer on the wood which prevents water intrusion, and it lasts for quite a while. So they say that you need to recoat the tar oil after 5 years or so. I'm not really a big fan of painting the outside of the building. I would rather apply the oil. Sure, a paint job will last a while longer than any oil will, but the thing with paint is that once that thing starts to crumble itself off from the wood, it will look ugly as hell. But with oil you can just reapply the oil coating and it will look nice and fresh again. Not really sure if you can reapply a paint to old paint. I think you need to remove the old paint before you apply any new coating. So while I'm in the plow mode, I'm not just gonna oil the sidings. I'm pretty much gonna oil the entire building. That means all the railings and posts all around the building, including this bit here, and also the staircase. But for that I need to wait for some better weather. I think I need like 2 weeks of no rain. Then I can do the entire oiling process. But anyway, enough of pointless talk. Gonna showcase how I'm gonna do the corners. Let's see how I do this corner and this window. So for the corners, I'm gonna use my homemade alder boards. Gonna cut one side flat and leave a live edge on the other one. Easy, cheap, and leaves a nice finish. Let's finish off the remaining corners. Next up, the window framing overview of that as well. Good thing I didn't foam the window shut. Now that I'm looking at it, I think the window should be more outside. Always leave the foaming as the last job. Okay, that's a bit better. Yeah, I need to definitely take this one out as well. For the door and window framing, I'm gonna use elm slabs. This thing does make some noise. The power of this circular saw. Wow. This piece of crap saw. Absolute crap. They have the same amount of watts, but it feels like this has 2 times less power. Wow, this wood looks really amazing. I absolutely love how this bark just comes off the wood once the lumber has nicely dried out. Not the best. Can't say the same for alder bark. Need like, I don't know, C4 to get this bark off here. Okay, that's how I get my window framing and also the door framing. So now that I have all the pieces for the frame, we can continue the work by finishing this window off from the outside. Now I just need to wait. Okay, anyway, next up is the wind barrier for this part. Oh yeah, pretty decent seal. So next up is that I need to lay some tar paper here. So the purpose of that tar paper is that if it rains outside and any rain hits the window, and if any water managed to get between this area, that tar paper will guide the water over the edge. So it doesn't go between this area or somewhere there, and with years that can cause some problems in the bottom part of the window. It's not really necessary for this window though, because this window is nicely covered by a roof area, but I'm gonna add it anyway. Add some spacers down here, so if any water gets to this location and does not come over the side, it can actually dry out. Absolutely free homemade lumber window frames. I think it's good enough for this chicken coop of a building. Anyway guys, everything else is pretty much repetitive content, so let's just plow on from here. think I'm high right about now. Yeah, pretty sure I'm high. You know, the oil, it has this distinctive odor or smell. It smells really good, but if you're around it for hours on end, head just starts spinning all over the place. Either I'm high or I'm poisoned right now. Oh boy, this was one hell of a oiling job. Yeah. Might as well. Honestly, I think I can't get any higher than I am right now. So I thought, why not? Jump in with both feet. That's a slogan to live by. Actually, I think the normal linseed oil made my highness go away. I feel a lot better now. Or perhaps it's because I'm done. Gonna smell like oil for a couple of weeks at least. Empty. 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 About this much. So all in all, I used about 40 liters of dark tar oil. I'm not really sure how much that is in American water balloons, but I'm definitely gonna point it out up here or here. Overall, I think this thing is starting to look like a house now. Some imagery of this area as well. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it suits this building nicely. I mean, the inside still looks like some type of chicken coop, cattle barn, or something in between those lines. That's what Boop looks like. I mean the color, not the building. All in all, it kind of went smoothly, the oiling process, I mean. Playing Spider-Man's fat cousin up on those railings there was kind of sketchy. I mean, Spider-Man's East European fat cousin. So yeah, I guess that's about it. End of the road for this episode. This is definitely the longest video I have ever made. I'm gonna try to keep it under 1 hour. We'll see how that goes. But all in all, it took me about 2 weeks of non-stop work. The building actually looks pretty cool now. Oh yeah, definitely better than before. So the outside is pretty much finished by now. I mean, there are a couple of things that I need to do still outside. For example, that upper balcony needs to be finished. The upper part of this porch area needs to be also finished. And I need to add wind boxes all around the building. The things that go here. But with those jobs, weather is not really a problem. It can be a nice sunny day, rain, hail, thunderstorms, hurricanes, tsunamis, earthquakes, freaking asteroid impacts, don't care. Either of those won't stop me finish this building. So in the next episode, I'm gonna be actually focusing a bit on the insides. I'm gonna be focusing on the interior walls now. And I'm gonna try my best to also leave this wall out and that wall out. I need to cover this up. There are no options here to leave this out. So I guess we'll see how that goes, and yeah. So anyway guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Will this ever end? I hope not. There we go. If you're wondering why I did not also oil the deck, the reason is because this is fresh deck from the assembly line. So that means this decking material currently is filled with chemicals. It's been pressure treated, so it's not just top or bottom surface, it's actually throughout the wood. So me adding oil here, completely pointless. At least right now. Maybe in a couple of years, definitely.